Well, for the upteenth time, custodial facilities are being attacked across Nigeria to the chagrin of all of us. Now, in the latest episode of this saga, gunmen with sophisticated weapons attacked the medium security custodial center in Jos, Plateau State in large numbers. Now, the attackers, who arrived at the center at about 5:20 p.m. on Sunday, engaged the armed personnel in a gun battle at the main gate before breaking into the yard. About 10 persons died during the invasion, while many inmates escaped. The State Commissioner of Police, Bartholomew Onyeka, who led the reinforcement to the scene, directed the entire center be cordoned off. Babajide, let's begin with you on this matter now. Let's talk about this, because this is more like a recurring occurrence where our correctional centers are being attacked, or we have instances of jailbreaks. What do you make of this latest happening now in Jos?
Well, it's becoming fairly regular. And the attack on this correctional facility or prisons, as those of us who are conservative like to call them, was the second this year. But barely 4 months ago, they came to set free some of their friends who are in detention. Don't also forget that some people were taken to court in Barking Ladi, and gunmen stormed the court building and freed some of the people who were to be put on trial. Now they were arrested and taken to that correctional facility. The suspicion is that it's the same people who masterminded the attack on the court premises and freed people who are supposed to be put on trial in Barking Ladi that went to this prison to attack it. I've read that the invaders were trapped and all that. Absolute falsehood.
Why do you say so?
Because I know. That's why I said so. When these things happen, the greatest casualty is usually the truth. In covering war in our country, the greatest casualty is always the truth. Never believe all of the things that you see put out there in the media, because image makers are out to present themselves as doing their job diligently, and in the process mislead the media and then mislead our people. The deputy governor of Plateau State went to the prison to assess what happened. He didn't see anybody trapped. In this attack, 9 inmates were killed by our own security forces. 1 correctional officer was killed by the invaders. Only 1 invader lost his life. No arrest. If indeed people were trapped, if the invaders were indeed trapped, so why haven't we arrested them? Nigerians should learn to ask questions. And people tell you, oh, we killed 400 insurgents, and they parade 4 guns. What they are telling you is that those 400 people that were killed, only 4 of them were armed. So do you go to storm a military base barehanded? So there are natural questions that people should ask. Yet again, we failed. We could not stop this from happening. we could not deal decisively with the invaders. Yet, the police headquarters in Jos, the DSS office in Jos, they are located within the same area as the prison. So the question you ask yourself is, how did these invaders manage to get past the police headquarters, manage to get past the DSS facility, to go and attack that place, took their time to set ablaze the office where records are kept, the IT facility there, they set it ablaze. They have a reason for destroying records, so that your ability to profile those who have escaped would
be difficult.
Yes, that is what they have done. And I say that we failed, because we couldn't, it's only one invader lost his life. They escaped. The rest of them escaped. That is evidence that security collapsed, the security failed. Let no one come and tell you that they were trapped. That's what we read in the paper. Oh, trapped. Where were they trapped? They all escaped. They escaped. Not one person has been arrested among the invaders. So tell me, if indeed they were trapped, as we were made to believe, the press will rush to go and publish outright propaganda.
All right, let me quickly get your thoughts on this, Gani. Why do you think this is becoming a gradually frequent occurrence where we have jailbreaks in our country today?
Well, jailbreaks are not peculiar to Nigeria. They are not even as daring as in some other climes. But we created a pattern now that those of us who are old school wonder what happened to the fear factor that we used to know the uniform forces for. There was a time that's very rare for you to pass through the front of a prison and not be afraid because of the reputation that they've built as an institution. Now they pick them off like flies. And when it happened in Benin last year, I said on this program that we may be in the beginning of a pattern that will not be able to control down the line. Because the Nigerian mentality is to copy. Whenever somebody has done something and got away with it, the chances are other people assume they will do it. And this is one of the fundamental points that you look out for in a failing state. When criminals have the audacity to face state authorities and win. Because, like it's been stated, if they can come in such a secure part of Jos, do what they have to do over a period of 2 hours, and lost only one out of, let's work for basically that they are 20. That means their loss is 0.5%. Meanwhile, we lost an officer and we lost people in the custody of the state. And some facilities are basically designed to protect you while you are being incarcerated. Somebody in jail should not be afraid unless he's on death row and is going to die. But my fear is that once this is done, other criminal gangs across the country, just like it did with the police, when the Boko Haram people started attacking police formations, they will now see our prisons as a soft target for them to take out their friends. And don't be surprised if taking out prisons becomes soft targets. The next targets will be our courts. And that will be the danger indeed.
Indeed, dangerous to even think about that. But Babajide, let's not forget that these correctional centers, we understand, are sometimes overcrowded. And available statistics have also showed that about 7 out of 10 inmates are awaiting trial. Now, do you think this could have been a factor for this kind of jailbreaks and attacks in our correctional
Absolutely not.
facilities?
That the correctional facility is overcrowded is not a reason, it's not an incentive for criminals to storm the place and then free people. No.
So what could
these criminals, these are bandits. They have their mates, their colleagues in being kept in those prisons. If you look at the pattern since 2010, that we've been having jailbreaks and all that, the bandits or the terrorists pick particular prisons where their friends, their colleagues are being kept, and they go there to free those people so that they will not face justice. When Boko Haram attacked Kano some years back and killed up to 200 people in one day, they attacked the Bompai police headquarters, attacked the cell there to free some of their people. They attacked the immigration office to free their people. So they will not simply attack a place without a clear goal, a clear intention. The intention in this case, just as I provided the background about the court premises that they attacked. When the court was attacked, they succeeded in freeing their people. Then they were rearrested. Some of them were rearrested, not everyone, and taken back to that prison. That made them to go back to that prison with the intention of freeing their people. It's the same thing that they've done in Kaba, in Kogi State, where they attacked the prison with the intention of freeing their people. They've attacked the prison in Kotonkarfi in the past on a few occasions with the intention, Boko Haram men, with the intention of freeing their people. We've seen at the apogee of the strength of the Niger Delta militants, in broad daylight, they attacked the prison in Port Harcourt with dynamites and other explosives to free their men who were held captive there. So it's their own way of ensuring that their men are not brought to justice. And as I suggested the last time we had this jailbreak, the Minister of Interior has to have a meeting with the heads of the Nigerian Armed Forces with the intention of securing the prisons. If we can't keep bloodthirsty people, bandits, terrorists, if we can't keep them perpetually in the slammer, or at least until they are brought to justice, then it means we are wide open. If they can just attack a prison and just free people, free their men, then it means that the state is failing, because this kind of people should not be moving freely. Right. If they get out of prison in that manner, they will even be more deadly. So that's why we must do our best to secure the prisons where we have these people, ensure that those prisons are incapable of being breached by these elements. And, and if we have DSS facility close to the place, we have police headquarters close to the place, and this kind of thing is happening, and we are putting story in the media that they've been trapped just to make Nigerians happy. Then the Nigerians who were happy that they had that the invaders were trapped. The next question they should ask is, after being trapped,
let me hold your thoughts for a moment. So we take this call from Port Harcourt. Prince, please go ahead with your contribution.
Okay, thank you. Good evening, journalist Sanga.
Good evening.
Yeah, as for this insecurity is getting out of hand, and to me, I really believe there is some people giving these people information. Some of those working in the prison yard are giving those perpetrators of this crime information, because there are people that are giving them information that they are working against the police. So there are bad eggs in the police, in the prison, in the correctional district there, that are giving these people information. So the security, we just thank and pray God that it should stop, because this thing is getting out of hand.
Right. Thank you very much, Prince, for your contribution there. Now, Gani, you mentioned initially...
Let me just respond quickly.
All right, go ahead.
Criminals have information. Criminals, Boko Haram elements, terrorists, bandits, they do some level of reconnaissance, they do some level of intelligence gathering. Whether you provide information for them or not, they know where their mates are being kept. They interact with them. A prison is different from a DSS facility, for example. People are able to communicate with detainees, with inmates. So they know that those guys are there. It's not a question, oh, they are providing information. They know that their mates are there, and they also know the level of security available at those prisons, so they can plan ahead. Whenever we have cause to negotiate with Boko Haram in any way through the third party, they will say, okay, release some of our bomb makers, and they will tell you the prison where those bomb makers are being kept. They are not fools. They have information. So this is the thing. Whether somebody tells them, no, they know that their mates are here. They follow developments, and at a given time, they can then decide to launch an operation. All we need to do is secure those places properly.
Indeed. Now, Gani, a while ago you mentioned that the criminal gangs, for instance, terrorists like the Boko Haram and all of that, will see the prison as soft targets and likelihood the courts as well. Now, but could you expatiate more about the far-reaching implications of this recent attacks if this is not checked?
I think we have to go a little bit into theory here. The number one step of government is security of lives and property. So they are agents of states that are mandated by law to carry arms. Under the law, they are the only people mandated by law to carry arms legally. And they are in all the armed professions. The prison is the holding part of the justice system. That means you are taken to prison, either you are waiting trial, or if you have been sentenced, you go back to prison to serve out that term. Prisons are supposed to be secured. That's why they are designated low, medium, and high security. People like bomb makers for Boko Haram and Co. should not be in a medium security facility, because they are high risk. Again, like we said last week, we keep pretending we are not at war. We are still using kid gloves to tackle matters of utmost importance, because it is obvious now that the prisons are going to be a target wherever you're holding their members or holding people of interest. And they are not going to be based on ideology alone. Even common criminals now will see this as an opportunity to ensure that their mates are never brought to justice. Now, if you now secure the prisons to a reasonable level, the next target, of course, will be the courts. Because they've lost out when they to stop them from being arrested, they've lost out from them being locked up. Now, movement from courts from prison to courts becomes a thing that we have to now take seriously. Because sometimes they are taking people to prison and they will be caught in traffic jam, generally in Kenya. And you look at it and say, okay, right now anything can happen. And the distance they are going is not very far, maybe about 10-15 minutes. But you know the danger, even as a civilian, that this can portray for if their members are in that particular black market. That's why in the old days, like I said, on court days on Lagos Island, roads leading to the court between the prison are usually kept open so that nobody can pass through there and traffic will be diverted. I'm not saying we should do that all the time, but if you know you are holding people of interest in particular facilities, and it's obvious that it can no longer be picked up when they destroy or attack prisons. I don't want to call it jailbreak. Maybe we should call it jail invasion. Because it's an invasion on the prisons. Then we have to do something quickly. And this is why we are alerting the country that please, not only must we secure our correctional facilities, we must also secure every aspect of the chain that leads to justice against criminals. Right. That's the only way that the state can now say they are in control.
Absolutely. But today, what other options do you think can be explored to contain this frequent attacks on our correctional facilities?
We need to also build modern prisons. those prisons are they are too old, and the prisons, Nigerian prisons, do not really correct detainees or inmates. Some of them come out hardened. Somebody could be detained there, and the time he was detained, he was not detained for armed robbery, but he will come out, become sufficiently hardened, and he will then become an armed robber. So we should make the prisons even more conducive. We can't build the kind of prisons that they have in Norway, that are just like five-star hotels. But at least the prisons should be truly correctional and reformatory nature. So, and then the issue of awaiting trial, people staying in jail for so long, should be addressed. There were occasions when some people needed to be brought to court, even for bail hearing, and the Black Maria would probably not have the battery, or the Black Maria would have gone flat, and they won't be able to appear in court. I know someone like that too on different occasions. Before the late Beko Ransom Kuti, who was also detained in the same prison, you know, having been jailed by Abacha, now stepped in to help the person, and the day they brought him to court was the day he was freed. There are many people like that. We need to do something about our prisons. 3,000 prisoners freed between 2016 and 2016 and 2021. 3,000 prisoners have been freed. That is a staggering number. Staggering,
but let me hold your thoughts on that. We need to take this call from Lokoja. Akintunde, please go ahead with your contribution.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm a first-time caller.
Oh,
welcome.
Thank you for calling.
This issue we are discussing this evening is a very, very vital issue. We are close to 2023 election, and prisoners are being free. It's a concern issue to any good Nigerian citizen. We need to look further than the way we are thinking. I am a criminology student, and I know what it takes to attack any prison. If you take not less than minimum of 6 months plan to 1 year plan to attack any prison. So it's not a big plan. And we need some people have reason to ask questions in this country. What is happening to their budget? What is really happening? How are they gathering their intelligence? How? To go and break a jail. It's not a joke. It's never a joke at all. It's beyond what we are saying in the studio. It's not a joke. We have a minister of the interior, 2 of them. We have a minister. We have PAMSEX. The money allocated.
All right, Akintunde, I have to let you go now because of time, but thank you very much for your position and contribution as well on the program.